Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Before I begin this evening, I have a short announcement. Is this being translated? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Just an announcement for devotees. Just 1 second. Is somebody here? Huh? Yes. Come in. You're late.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I had it.
You didn't know you had it?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Can you put Prabhupada? All right. This is just an announcement for about the new website. Is that this evening the passwords will be emailed to all the devotees who are registered on the old website. You will receive new passwords this evening, and the new website, it appears like it will launch tomorrow. It will be available. So please, if you haven't received a password in the email, please check your spam folder in case it went there. And I'm sure there'll be a few glitches, but these things always happen. So that's my first announcement. The second announcement is just for devotees who have submitted videos and photographs of activities of 2020. I just wanted to confirm that they have been accumulating and they're still coming in, and very soon, I mean, I've seen practically everything, but very soon they will be given to Doyle Garanga, who will begin his work on that material for another video. So I've just wanted to update everybody on that. And we will begin class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Volume 2, Chapter 4, text, continuing with text 164. Itachcha vrinda vipaneka hantur hitva bhavatsan anubhutamasti Shri Brahmana Dvaravati Purecha Prasada Vargeshu Maya Brahmitva. Translation. Shri Brahma perceived this truth when he stole Krishna's boys and calves in the forest of Vrindavan, and I realized it while wandering among his many palaces in the city of Dwaraka. We'll skip the part of the commentary about Brahma Vimohana Lila because we covered that in our last class, and we'll simply begin in the commentary with the Dwarka Lila. When Narada visited the thousands of palaces of Krishna's queens in Dwaravati, he too saw for himself the simultaneous oneness and variety of the Supreme Person. Wandering from one palace to another, in each palace he saw a separate Krishna acting in a different way. This does not mean that Krishna was factually only in one palace and appeared in illusory forms in the others. Did Krishna's devoted servants deserve to be cheated in such a way as if he didn't care enough to be truthful with them? Would Krishna act in such a duplicitous way? The same Krishna who is the best of compassionate benefactors, the ever concerned caretaker of his devotees, and the surrendered servants of his servants? Surely not. Nor should anyone propose that because different residents of Dwaraka simultaneously saw Krishna in different palaces, the visible facts disprove that Krishna is one. If Krishna were not one, the millions of Yadus could not have cooperated with one another so well to reciprocate with him. Moreover, every day when Krishna left each of his palaces to attend the Sudharma assembly, a single Krishna, not 16,108 different Krishnas, arrived at the hall. I'll finish the commentary. When Narada visited Dwarka, Krishna kindly allowed him to witness his daily activities in the palace of each queen, as Shukadev Goswami describes in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:69-41. Ityat charantam saddharmam pavanam grihamedinam tam eva sarvageheshu santam ekam dadarshaha. Thus, in every palace, Narada saw the same form of the Lord carrying out the transcendental principles of religion that purify those engaged in household affairs. And at the beginning of the same chapter of the 10th canto, Shukadev says, Chitram baita tad ekena vapusha yugapat pritak griheshu dvyasta sahasram striya eka udavahat it yutsuko dvaravatim devarshir drashtum agamat. Narada thought, it is quite amazing that in a single body, Lord Krishna simultaneously married 16,000 women, each in a separate palace. Thus the sage of the demigods eagerly went to Dwarka to see this for himself. Narada was eager to go to Dwarka to see Krishna in his palaces, only because Krishna had married 16,000 princesses, all at the same time, while remaining in one and the same body. Had Krishna married his queens by expanding himself into 16,000 duplicate forms, Narada's eagerness would not have been so aroused, since Narada and other masters of mystic yoga, like Salbhari, are also able to expand themselves into duplicate forms. It was by sharing in Krishna's own mystic power to appear in expansions factually identical that Sri Devaki, Vasudeva, Uddhava, and other devotees had also been present simultaneously with Krishna in several different palaces. As Narada had witnessed, as Narada had witnessed. Therefore, Narada was correct when he told Gopakumar, Krishna, his associates, and his abode are with perfect consistency one, although many, and they are always real. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksha Unminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhangum Langayate Garim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurundina Taranam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shanyavari Paschachade Satarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Siddhi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this verse we have two examples which serve as evidence to the main theme that Narada Muni is continuing to cover with Gopakumar, which is that whenever Krishna manifests himself before his devotee, that form is real. And we should never entertain a thought that Krishna's expanded himself in a way comparable to the way that Salbhari Muni expands themselves, and there are other examples of mystic yogis who expanded themselves. Kardama Muni is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam how he expanded himself into 9 forms. Salbhari Muni expanded himself into 8 forms. And they did it to fulfill particular purposes. And it's interesting to note that Prabhupada does give a reference and connection to those mystics who can expand themselves, that usually the mystic yogis who have that power, they can't go beyond 9. It stops at 9. And that's in the 3rd canto of the Bhagavatam. But Prabhupada also explains that such yogis are just like, he uses the analogy of like the sun, the one real sun, and the different expanded forms are like reflections which are temporary and not real. And he also gives another example elsewhere of like a television. He says just like a person, he can be seen on many different television screens, but each television screen is just that one person who's sitting in the studio before the camera, whatever it may be, although he may be seen in so many different televisions. Prabhupada uses televisions, of course. I wonder what Prabhupada would say about video monitors. Sometimes we have these people we sing about who have Zoom accounts who are seen at 10,000, 100,000 monitors at once at one webinar. Oh, what to speak of when there's big popular sporting events, and they're seen at millions and millions of monitors all simultaneously. But there's only one of them. They're so they're all just the forms are not real. There's only one real form, and therefore Prabhupada uses that analogy to help us to understand that whenever Krishna expands himself, and these forms, as I've mentioned before, they're called Prakash expansions. Rupa Goswami explains in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, again, I've mentioned before, that there's the Svayam Rupa, which is that form of Krishna which is not dependent upon any other form, the original form, and it is that form from whom all other forms come. And yet, there is Tadikatma Rupa. Rupa Goswami explains which have two divisions. One is Vilas, and the other is Svanksa. The Vilas forms, they are same as the Lord, but they don't display everything, all the opulences as the original form. An example that Rupa Goswami gives is just like Narayan. He is the Vilas of Krishna. Why? Because 60 of the qualities are manifested in Narayan, but there are 4 qualities in there that are in Krishna that don't exist in Narayan. So not all qualities are manifested in the Narayan form of the Lord. And then he goes on to explain, the Rupa Goswami, that the Vilas of Narayan is Vasudev. So they're expansions, but they don't manifest completely that as the form from whom they've expanded. And then there's Svanksas. Svanksas, they display less of the qualities, and they display different forms. Example of a Svanksa is like Matsya. He is a Svanksa of Krishna. And the Svanksa avatars, they manifest partial according to the particular purpose for their descent. And then there's the Avesha avatars. The Avesha avatars are the Sakyavesha avatars, who are the empowered jivas. And Rupa Goswami says we should not in any way diminish the respect offered to the Avesha avatars, because the Lord has manifested himself in them to varying degrees. And also it's described that there are direct Sakyavesha avatars, indirect Sakyavesha avatars. And then there's a category of the self of its own, which Rupa Goswami describes, which is Prakash. And Prakash, the Prakash expansions are, and the example that's given in Chaitanya Charitamrita is Krishna's expanding into 16,108 forms in Dwarka. They're all complete, they're all Krishna, they're all manifesting simultaneously, and every queen thinks that I have Krishna as my husband. Rukmini thinks that way, Satyabhama thinks that way. They all think that Krishna is there, he's one. He's not manifesting any less to one as he is to another. Everything is there. And therefore, that's what is meant by he is one. If you read this sometimes, you may think, well, if he's one, how is he simultaneously manifest and 16,108 palaces. Because, I mean, that's definitely mystical. And but the point is, one means that every queen thinks and thinks and has reason to think. She has very good reason to think that this is Krishna and I'm alone with Krishna and we're together doing all of these affairs together, and he's with me and he is fully there to each queen, just as he is. Actually, Rupa Goswami also gives in Lagu Bhagavatamrita, just as Krishna in Raj, he's also sometimes seen with Chandravali, sometimes he's seen with Radharani. He's also seen in different kunjas with other gopis. And it's not like they're television or reflections. Krishna's fully there. Fully there. I mean, this is why we oftentimes say that only Krishna can satisfy everyone. Because Krishna is fully there for everyone who wants Krishna to be fully there for them. And not only who wants it, but who deserves it. And therefore, we can see the limitations there are in the parts and parcels living entities in their efforts to try to be fully there for everyone. Obviously, they can't fulfill. The only way they can fulfill is simply by trying to give Krishna to everyone. And that's how Prabhupada defined it. That a Vaishnava's greatest mercy is that he gives Krishna to everyone without any discrimination. I always oftentimes think of that, that conversation that's given in the Prabhupada Leela of one Indian gentleman who was somewhat challenging Srila Prabhupada, saying that the Prabhupada was simply repeating the words of others, but what did he have to say? And not only that, but he was saying that why are you using such words? You know, I don't know what word Prabhupada was using, but the man seemed to, in some ways, seemed to be disturbed that Prabhupada was speaking in a way about those who are rascals. And he thought that you should be equal to everyone. Why you speaking such strong words? And Prabhupada was saying that, yes, that's for a person who's on a higher platform. I'm not on that higher platform. He said, he said, my being equal to everyone is I tell them what Krishna says. And in that way, I'm equal to everyone. And Krishna says, Avajanati mam mudha. They are rascals. Says, therefore, I simply repeat. And then the man was challenging, what do you have to say? And Prabhupada says, no, I stand on the strength of the words of Krishna himself, and I simply give Krishna to everyone. That is my, and I make no distinction. Whether somebody is following, somebody is not following, I make no distinction. I give Krishna to everyone. So Prabhupada was presenting in a very humble way, saying that's a very high platform. That I see everyone equally because I make no discrimination. I will give Krishna to everyone. And that was his platform. So that's the best platform for someone like Srila Prabhupada. Makes no discrimination. He gives Krishna. But Krishna gives himself. And that is and Krishna gives himself. And we oftentimes quote that verse also from the Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is stated that, I think it's a statement to Yudhishthira Maharaj, where devotee is speaking and saying, I can see you're very fortunate because Krishna is your guru, he's your God, he's the head of your family, but he's also your messenger, which means he's become your servant. Therefore, I can understand that because Krishna's become your servant and become your messenger, he's given himself to you. And he doesn't give himself to everyone, because he only gives himself to those who he gives pure devotional service. And so therefore you're very fortunate, because I can see that Krishna has given you pure devotional service. He says he doesn't give pure devotional service so freely, although he'll give liberation freely, but he won't give pure devotional service so freely, because when he gives pure devotional service to his devotee, he gives himself. So, therefore, that is one of the characteristics or qualities of pure devotional service, is that Krishna becomes conquered by the devotee who has spontaneous love for Krishna, and Krishna gives himself completely. And that is the point that is being made here in this commentary. Krishna wouldn't cheat. He wouldn't give an illusory reflection. There's no way he would do something like that. There's no way he would go back on his word. There's no way he would simply give them a partial manifestation of himself or a temporary manifestation of himself. Why would he do that? He upholds, this is the greatest principle, that he even asks his devotees to declare that I'll give myself, I'll protect to those devotees, and I'll give myself to those devotees who worship me with love. Krishna does that. So, gives himself means he gives himself completely, nothing less. Of course, for those who love Krishna in his Vasudeva expansion, or his Vaikuntha expansion, or his Dwarka expansion, or his expansion, or his such as his manifest in Ayodhya as Lord Ramachandra. And we discussed before, these are the Para Avasta avatars. The Para Avasta avatars that Rupa Goswami describes is Lord Ramachandra, Lord Nrsimha, and Krishna. They are the most complete forms of the Lord. Nonetheless, those who worship Lord Ramachandra, then they get Lord Ramachandra. And even sometimes we see their attachment to Lord Ramachandra is so strong that they can't give it up. Even when Lord Chaitanya, when he tried to get Murari Gupta to give it up, Murari Gupta couldn't give it up because he was Hanuman. And therefore he couldn't give up that attachment. He was so attached to the form of Lord Ramachandra. And then, although Lord Chaitanya tried somehow to give it up, then ultimately he began glorifying Murari Gupta. Fortunate is that person who's so attached to his worshipful Lord, and fortunate is that so fortunate is that devotee that the Lord will take that devotee by his hair and he'll pull him and to accept him. He emphasizes again that fortunate is that devotee who doesn't give up his attachment to his Ishtadev. And there's other examples also. Of course, Venkatabhatta, we explained to him, he was convinced. He accepted Krishna. What to speak of, many ways. Anupam also was the worship of Lord Ramachandra, who was the brother of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. He also did not give up his attachment. So that they get Lord Ramachandra, complete. But those who worship Krishna and serve Krishna, and they get Krishna complete. Therefore, we should understand that the queens of Dwarka, each and every one of them had one Krishna for themselves. Now, this point is elaborated on, and I wanted to read in some of the commentaries, although there's one point I wanted to make. Somehow there seems to be a difference of opinions, and I'm not sure I'm not sure I'm going to read one commentary. And sometimes our acharyas will say he has one opinion and he has another opinion and different opinions. And that's it. That's how they leave it. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says something here. Although, anyways, I'm not going to say it. I'll say it later. He says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, 10th canto, 69th chapter, 41st verse, there is a verse that says, "Thus in every palace Narada saw the Lord in his same personal form, executing the transcendental principles of religion that purify those engaged in household affairs." Commentary. This verse summarizes the ideas which were previously discussed. As stated in text 2 of this chapter, all of Krishna's activities in the many palaces were performed by Krishna's single spiritual form, Ekana Vapusa, which manifested in each of the 16,000 palaces. This vision was revealed to Narada because of his desire to see it and Krishna's desire to show it to him. The other residents of Dwarka could see Krishna only in the particular part of the city they themselves occupied, and not anywhere else. Even if they would sometimes go to another precinct on some business. Thus the Lord gave a special view of his pastimes to his beloved devotee, Narada Muni. I read this, there are more. I read this because we just read in this commentary that nor should anyone propose that because different residents of Dwarka simultaneously saw Krishna in different palaces, the visible facts disprove that Krishna is one. So it seems to indicate in one commentary that the residents of Dwarka went different places and saw Krishna in different places. And another commentary, this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, he seems to indicate that even if they go to another precinct, they're not going to see him there. They're only going to see him in the precinct that they're in, because that's their precinct. That's where he is. That's where he comes out. Of course, he comes out of that precinct, of that palace, but then what happens when he goes into the Sudama Assembly House? When he goes into the Sudama Assembly House, they all enter into that one form. So there seems to be some difference of opinions here. I'm not going to try to reconcile them. Although it could be that this is not exactly from Sanatana Goswami's commentary. It could be something that, I don't know, came from someplace else, but there seems to be a different opinion, and I'm going to leave it at that. It's not so important, but what is important is the verses which lead up to this one verse, and I'm going to read some of them because there's some other nice details that come out. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 69th chapter, verse verse 1. This verse simply explains that how Narada Muni, he specifically wanted to go to Dwarka to see the Lord because he thought it's quite amazing that in a single body, Lord Krishna simultaneously married 16,000 women, each in a separate palace. Narada Muni was specifically, and in the commentary it's brought out, that if Krishna expanded into different forms, and each of these forms were in these different palaces, and then it wouldn't be so amazing to Narada Muni, because Narada Muni himself has that same mystic power to expand into many forms. He said, but what reason why Narada Muni was so amazed and wanted to see it for himself is because they were all one Krishna, in the ways I've already explained it. All one Krishna. He was there, one for each and every one of them. Okay, so that's explained in the commentary. It was indeed astonishing how Krishna married with one body at one time each of the 16,000 queens in separate courtyards of separate houses, surrounded by separate walls. Persons like Salbari enjoyed with many women at once, only after expanding into separate bodies, but not in a single body. For this reason, Iti, Narada went to see Krishna in Dwarka, which is described in 3.5 verses. Okay? That is first verse. Another verse is text 23. I wanted to read. First, Narada goes into one palace. He sees Rukmini. Krishna receives him. He offers him respect. He bathes his feet. Although he's the most worshipable of all, he's worshiping the worshiper, and explains also why Krishna is so wonderful that he chooses to worship the worshiper, even though he's the worshipable. And Narada Muni explains in one verse that this is what makes Krishna so wonderful, that he, although he is the worshipable, he even can worship the worshiper. And there's no distinction whatsoever. There's no diminution of his character whatsoever. That is Krishna. So he worshipped Narada Muni, and he washed his lotus feet. Narada Muni didn't like it. Narada Muni was a little bit upset, but Krishna explained why he did it. Then, after receiving him in that one palace, and then seeing how Rukmini was there with her chamara, she was waving the chamara, then Narada Muni went into another palace. The next palace he went into where Satyabhama was there. And then Krishna, when he saw Narada Muni, he said, "Oh, when did you come?" Now someone may say, well, if he's one, he knew that Narada already came because he already received him in the previous palace. But just again to display his inconceivable potencies, he said to Narada, "Oh, when did you come to Dwarka? So nice to see you." And then he received him. And then, of course, in that palace, Krishna was doing something different in that palace with Satyabhama. And then he went into another palace, and so many different palaces, all the different things that Krishna was doing. There was a lot of them. I'm not going to read them all, but each and every one was distinctly different. And also, as we mentioned before, were different times of the day. So here in text 23, this time Naradaji saw that Lord Krishna was engaged as an affectionate father petting his small children. From there, he entered another palace and saw Krishna preparing to take his bath. Commentary. In all the palaces Narada visited, Krishna worshipped and honored him. Everyone. This should be understood, though not mentioned in the verses. Narada saw Krishna playing with his infant sons. 14 and a half verses describe what Narada observed. Just as Narada saw numerous manifestations with various moods and activities of Krishna's one body, similarly, he also saw numerous manifestations of the single bodies of Uddhava and others. As mentioned in today's commentary of today's verse, Uddhava, Devaki, Vasudeva, they were seen in different palaces. Why? Because they were are invested with similar potencies. They also can expand, and we also gave a class specifically describing their various expansions and how they expand to assist the Lord. And when the Lord expands in the ways described here in his Prakash form, they also expand and are there with him. So, similarly, he also saw numerous manifestations of the single bodies of Uddhava and others. Narada, who went at the speed of the mind in a single moment to each of the 16,000 palaces, 16,000, it's not, I mean, we've only mentioned a few, but don't forget, 16,000, it's a lot. It's a lot of area to cover. And that point is being brought out. He traveled at the speed of the mind in a single moment to each of the 16,000 palaces, saw Krishna performing different activities at different times. In other words, within a single moment, the time span of 60 gatikas, comprising an entire day, entered. A whole day entered into a moment. Manifesting in the various locations, the various phases of dawn, and so on, and the corresponding activities of these times. Thus, Narada understood that all the times of the whole day and all the different activities were occurring simultaneously. The phrase Majanaya Kritod preparing to bathe, indicates it was early morning or dawn in that palace. Anyways, this is Krishna. And There's more. There's more. In text 29, somewhere Lord Krishna was found enjoying the company of a particular wife by exchanging joking words with her. Somewhere else he was found engaged, along with his wife, in ritualistic functions. Somewhere Krishna was found engaged in matters of economic development. And somewhere else he was found enjoying family life according to the regulative principles of the Shastras. Commentary. Joking conversations, hasa kataya, take place during the nighttime. Krishna. Whereas religious rituals, economic development, and family enjoyment, dharmam, artha, kamau, occur during both the day and the night. Text 36. Somewhere Krishna, the Lord of mystic power, was moving about in disguise among the homes of ministers and other citizens in order to understand what each of them was thinking. Interesting concept. Why does Krishna have to disguise himself? All right, explained. Commentary. Disguising himself in some other dress of Yakta Lingam, Krishna visited the homes of his ministers and his own inner chambers in order to know the mentalities, tat tad bhava bhubutsaya, of the people there. Though Krishna is all-knowing, Yogesham, being immersed in prema, he covered his knowledge, potency, sarvagyatva shakti, with his pastime potency, lila shakti, in order to act like this. So it seems that sometimes he even does this in Dwarka. So that is text 36, text 37. Having thus seen this display of the Lord's Yogamaya, Narada mildly laughed and then addressed Lord Hrishikesh, who was adopting the behavior of a human being. Commentary. Narada fully understood Krishna's omniscience. So when he saw Krishna trying to detect the mood of his ministers by moving about in disguise, he could not help laughing. Prahasan. But remembering Krishna's majesty, Aishwarya, he somewhat restrained his laughter. The phrase, seeing the rise of Krishna's Yogamaya, Yogamayodayam Viksha, as Krishna was absorbed in his own human-like pastimes, Manushim Yusho Gatim, indicates Narada's astonishment. In Dwarka, we see sometimes, just like there's that famous verse where when Uddhava expresses to Krishna, I don't understand why you're asking for my advice when you know everything. And yet, you are so kind to your devotees that even you act in a way as if you don't know, simply to give me the opportunity to give you the answer to your question, although you perfectly know the answer anyways. So sometimes the Lord, even in Dwarka, he will behave in this way. He'll act as if he doesn't know in order to relish and for his devotees to relish. And that is the example that is given right here. In Dwarka, then Narada Muni was laughing. Why is Krishna disguising himself? Because he's completely omniscient. So when he saw that Krishna was trying to detect the mood of his ministers by moving about in disguise, he couldn't help but laugh. Of course, the ministers, you know, sometimes they didn't recognize, because Krishna was in disguise. They didn't recognize that it was Krishna, and Krishna was going to see what their mood was. So, but remembering Krishna's majesty, Aishvarya, he restrained his laughter. Okay. And then there's one more verse that I wanted to read, and it's the verse I already read, which is verse 41, which explains how the other residents in Dwarka, uh, even if they went to other precincts, uh, and the vision was revealed to Narada because of his desire to see it and Krishna's desire to show it to him. The other residents of Dwarka could see Krishna only in the particular part of the city they themselves occupied, and not anywhere else, even if they would sometimes go to another precinct or on some business. Thus the Lord gave a special view of his pastimes to his beloved devotee Narada Muni. That's Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentaries. All of these verses lend support, and that is why on this verse of today's verse of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada Muni is giving the example of Brahma's becoming convinced, and Narada is also becoming fully convinced that beyond a shadow of a doubt, that whenever Krishna manifests a form to his devotee, it is that one same Krishna who's giving himself completely to that devotee, and it is not anything less than Krishna to his devotee. And unlike the expansions of given that we've told of, like Salbari or other expansions that are given, Krishna gives himself completely to those devotees, and that is one of the characteristics, of course, of pure devotional service. A pure devotional service is the only means to conquer Krishna. And because Krishna is conquered by that characteristic of their unalloyed love, as we explained before, being conquered by that love, he gives himself completely to that devotee. And we'll see coming up in two more verses of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, we've already mentioned it before, coming up the different queens in the palaces, they will think that I'm cooking for Krishna, and Krishna is getting it only from me and not getting the meal from anyone else. He's taking it from me. This is how the queens were thinking. And also in the commentary, Sanatana Goswami also explains that gopis also think in the same way. And of course, we already talked about how the elderly gopis, when they were feeding Krishna, when they were offering who they thought were their sons, and they were thinking that, yes, my son is accepting, I'm feeding my son. And each gopi was thinking that, yes, I'm feeding my son. And yet it was Krishna who was accepting the offering of the gopi fully. Although they were thinking it was their son, it was Krishna accepting. And that's what Krishna wanted to do. He knew that was one of the reasons why the Brahma Vimohana Leela manifested, as we said before, because Krishna knew that these gopis and these cows, they wanted to fully show their maternal affection to Krishna and offer the milk. So therefore, that's why Krishna manifested that pastime. One of his purposes was to satisfy their desires that they had in their heart. And this way, each gopi was thinking, yes, I'm giving, I'm feeding. Of course, she didn't know it was Krishna, but it was Krishna. So, this is, I guess, we'll stop here on this particular verse. And there are verses which will be coming up. Actually, I think I'll read the next verse too, because it's connected to the same verses. I'll just read the next two verses. Text 165. Duravitakya hisa shaktir adbhuta parameshwari kintvasya kanta bhakteshu gudham kinchin natishtati. Inconceivable indeed is the amazing energy of the Supreme Controller, but nothing can be hidden from his unalloyed devotees. Commentary. The apparently contradictory pastimes of the Lord can be relished only by the Lord's devotees who understand them in pure devotion. Ordinary persons cannot unravel the mysteries of Krishna's pastimes. But these pastimes kindly reveal themselves to sincere devotees and allow such devotees to gradually develop, exclusive devotion. Brahmaji was at first bewildered by Krishna's mystic powers, but was later enlightened. Important verse to take shelter of. Definitely a very good follow-up for the verses that we've read, that they're aimed for gradual enlightenment. Just as Brahmaji was bewildered and was gradually enlightened, ordinary persons cannot understand the mysteries of these pastimes, but these pastimes kindly reveal themselves to sincere devotees and allow such devotees to gradually develop exclusive devotion, which in essence is the same point we've raised many times of Gopakumar's reminders to the Mathura Brahmin, Narada's speaking to Gopakumar. Many times we've heard, I can tell you these things, but you won't fully understand until you've seen them yourself. So, same point is brought up here. Tell them, sometimes we hear, what was the 4 types of people who hear, one of them was always challenging? I can't remember what it was called. And we explained that in relationship to Gopakumar, because of Gopakumar's simplicity. Gopakumar, although he was hearing everything, he never challenged. And it was described that he was hearing things that were, for him, even difficult to fully understand, fully comprehend. But yet, because he couldn't fully understand and fully comprehend not only that which he heard, but even that which he was seeing, Narada Muni had to pull him aside and say, look, I know what you're thinking. Let me explain this to you. And these verses are Narada Muni's explanation of what Gopakumar was thinking when he was seeing it, and still couldn't fully understand and was still bewildered by it. Narada Muni took the position out of his compassion to bring him to enlightenment and to help him to understand. Everything gradually becomes revealed to the sincere devotee in due course of time, and therefore we see the word gradually allows such devotees, these pastimes kindly reveal themselves to sincere devotees and allow such devotees gradually develop exclusive devotion. This, and then there's one more verse I wanted to read. And text 166. Patni sahasra yugapat pranitam Patni sahasra yugapat pranitam dravyam sabhukti bhagavan yadaikaha pasyanti tanyatriyata pratisvam adamama dhatta tariva meti. When the one personality of Godhead simultaneously eats the items brought to him by thousands of wives, each wife sees that she has fed him first and that the only offering he is eating is hers. I thought I should read it since I already mentioned it. Commentary. This is a good example of the mysterious nature of the Supreme Lord's pastimes, an example taken from his loving dealings with his beloved consorts. The phenomenon described in this verse occurs both in Vrindavan with the gopis, headed by Sri Radha, and in Dwarka with the queens, headed by Sri Rukmini. In both abodes, Krishna is sometimes fed at the same time by thousands of beloveds, each of whom sees him accept only her offerings. All of them are absolutely devoted to him, and so he does not want to disappoint any of them. By being especially attentive to each one individually, he expertly increases the stimulus for their love. He does this factually, not by some illusory trick. The best examples of the wonderful ways the Lord receives service from his potencies are found in the pastimes of Sri Krishna, in which both his opulences and his sweetness are fully displayed. The super excellence of Krishna as the source of all avatars will be discussed in the later chapters of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. To hint at this conclusion, the name Krishna has been used in this chapter in reference to Lord Narayan in texts 107, 140, 145, and 161. We'll stop there. We may speak a little bit more on this at next class, and we'll also continue with next verse, which is text 167. I didn't bring my Japa beads, not purposely. I can chant some Japa, but I need to get my beads. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop. I think I pushed myself a little bit too much today. So I'm going to stop. So we'll end here. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri
Jai
Advaita
Shri
Gadadhara
Krishna
Shiva
Chaitanya
Sri
Prabhu
Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Nityananda Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna
Jai Hare Krishna.
Krishna
All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare 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 Hare